Have you ever wondered how some people seem to defy the odds and live well beyond 100 years? I mean, they're not just living longer, but they're living better. They're sharp, they're vibrant, and they're still engaged with life in ways many of us can only dream of. It's almost as if they discovered a secret to longevity, a secret that could help us all add a little more spark to our own lives, no matter our age. If you ever caught yourself thinking, I'm getting older, but I want to make the most of these years, you're not alone. We all want to feel good, stay active, and live with purpose. The good news is there are certain habits that people who live to 100 swear by. Habits that don't require special genes or a fortune. These are simple, everyday actions that can make a huge difference in how we age, and many of them are surprisingly easy to adopt. In this video, I'm going to share 6 key habits from people who've lived to 100 and beyond. These habits are rooted in real-life experiences and can help you not only live longer, but also live better. And you don't have to start all at once. Just picking up 1 or 2 of these habits could make a meaningful difference in your life. Let's dive into the first one. Have you ever heard of the concept of purpose? It's one of the most consistent themes among centenarians. The idea that having a strong sense of purpose is one of the best ways to boost longevity. Whether it's a passion for family, a lifelong hobby, or a commitment to helping others, people who live to 100 tend to have a reason to get up every day. Think about it for a second. How many times have you heard someone say, I don't know what I'd do if I didn't have my garden to tend to? Or, I love my volunteer work. It keeps me busy and connected to my community. People with a purpose don't just wake up and let the day pass by. They wake up with intention, and that intention fuels their energy and keeps them going. This doesn't necessarily mean you need to have a grand purpose or a life-changing goal. It could be something as simple as making sure you're staying active, helping a neighbor with their groceries, or learning something new every day. A sense of purpose gives you direction, and it plays a huge role in mental and physical well-being. For example, one woman I spoke to, who just turned 102, told me she attributes her long life to the fact that she always found joy in small tasks, like knitting blankets for local charities. She didn't think of it as a big purpose. She just enjoyed it. But that small, consistent act of giving kept her engaged, connected, and happy. That sense of purpose, no matter how small it seems, can be a powerful tool in living a longer, more fulfilling life. Now, let's talk about the second habit that plays a key role in longevity, community. People who live to 100 rarely do so in isolation. One thing that stands out about centenarians is the importance of strong, supportive relationships. It could be family, friends, or even a group of like-minded individuals who share common interests. Longevity isn't just about eating the right foods or exercising regularly. It's about building a life filled with connection. Research shows that people who have close social connections tend to live longer and experience less stress. It's not just about having people around, but having people who care. You don't have to be surrounded by hundreds of friends. In fact, many centenarians say that having a small, tight-knit group of friends is even more valuable than having a wide network. These are the people who show up when you need them, laugh with you when things are tough, and support you through life's ups and downs. A man I met in his 90s explained how his weekly poker game with his buddies was one of the highlights of his week. It wasn't just about the game. It was about the conversations, the shared history, and the fact that they all had someone to lean on. Being part of a community gives you a sense of belonging, which is incredibly important for both emotional and physical health. Plus, social interaction often leads to more active lifestyles, whether it's going for walks, doing hobbies together, or simply staying mentally sharp with fun conversations. Now that we've explored the importance of purpose and community, let's take a look at another vital habit. One that might surprise you. It's about keeping things light. Yes, having a good laugh. People who live to 100 tend to have a sense of humor that doesn't fade with age. And it's not just about cracking jokes. It's about not taking life too seriously. When I spoke to a woman in her late 90s, she told me that every day she made a point to laugh at something, even if it was just a silly thought or a funny memory. Laughter is like a mini vacation, she said. It lightens a load and makes everything seem a little bit easier. And it's true. Laughter reduces stress, lowers blood pressure, and releases feel-good hormones that improve mood. It's a simple, free, and effective way to improve your health and well-being. So, when life gets tough or stressful, try to find humor in the situation. It doesn't mean ignoring your problems, but rather giving yourself permission to laugh them off from time to time. If you're not sure where to start, watch a comedy, join a social group with a funny vibe, or just tell a light-hearted joke. You'd be surprised at how much a little laughter can improve your outlook on life. Now that we've covered purpose, community, and laughter, it's time to take a breath. There's a lot to think about, isn't there? But it's the kind of thinking that can lead to real change. And we're just getting started. Something that really stood out to me when talking to folks who made it past 100 wasn't just what they did, but how they thought. There's a subtle mindset that so many of them share, and it often shows up in the way they handle everyday stress. That brings us to another powerful habit: staying mentally flexible. Now, let's be honest, we all like things a certain way. Especially as we get older, routine can feel like a safety net. But people who live the longest seem to have this remarkable ability to roll with life's punches. They've been through wars, lost loved ones, faced hardship, and yet they've adapted. They haven't clung tightly to the way things used to be, but instead, they've stayed curious and open to change. Take Mr. David, who turned 101 last year. When I asked him what helped him live such a long life, he smiled and said, "I learned how to bend without breaking." He talked about how he had to switch careers in his 60s after his company closed down, how he adapted to using a smartphone at 90 so he could keep in touch with his grandkids, and how he even joined a Tai Chi class in his mid-80s after a fall. It wasn't that he wanted to change. It was that he chose to stay open. That kind of mental flexibility, being able to accept change without being defeated by it, can reduce stress, improve resilience, and even protect your memory. It doesn't mean you need to love change, but being willing to adapt can lighten your emotional load and help you stay healthier, inside and out. So maybe the next time something unexpected comes your way, try saying to yourself, "Let's see what this brings." It might surprise you. And speaking of surprises, there's another habit that's less about reacting and more about choosing to move. Not in a way we often hear, like, you need to hit the gym, but in a gentle, joyful, everyday way. Most people who reach 100 didn't run marathons or lift weights. Instead, they moved often and naturally through walking, gardening, dancing, cleaning, or even just getting outside to breathe in the fresh air. They didn't sit still for long stretches. Movement was woven into their daily lives like brushing their teeth or making breakfast. I met a woman in her late 90s who still swept her own front porch every morning. Not because she had to, but because she wanted to. It was her quiet moment with the day, and it kept her body in motion. It's not about how much you move. It's about how consistently you move. If you can walk to the mailbox instead of waiting for someone else to bring it in, do a little stretch when you get out of bed. Even gentle chair exercises while watching TV can make a big difference. The key is to keep your body moving in ways that feel good to you, because the more you move, the more mobile and independent you stay. And let's not forget, movement isn't just for your muscles. It's for your mind, too. Regular movement boosts blood flow to the brain, helps keep your memory sharp, and lifts your mood. In fact, many centenarians describe their daily movement as not only physical, but spiritual, a chance to connect with themselves and the world around them. It's a beautiful way to look at something as simple as a walk through the garden. Now, there's one more habit that might surprise you, and it's not about what you do, but what you believe. People who live the longest often have a deeply rooted sense of optimism. They tend to look on the bright side, even when life throws curveballs. And no, they weren't all naturally sunny people. Many of them chose to look for the good, even when it was hard to find. You might be thinking, well, easier said than done. And that's fair. Life isn't always easy. But these centenarians have shown us that optimism isn't about pretending everything's perfect. It's about believing that, even in tough times, something better is possible. That mindset helps you stay hopeful, and hope is powerful. It keeps you moving forward. One gentleman, turning 100, told me something that stuck with me. He said, "Every morning I open my eyes and say, 'Thank you,' Let's see what today brings. That's it. That's my secret. And what a beautiful way to start the day. Gratitude and optimism wrapped into one simple sentence. If you're not sure how to build that habit, start small. Each morning, think of one thing you're looking forward to. It could be a phone call, a cup of coffee, or even just sitting in your favorite chair with the sun on your face. That little shift in perspective can set the tone for the rest of your day, and over time, for the rest of your life. When you look at all these habits together, mental flexibility, gentle movement, and quiet optimism, you start to see a pattern. People who live to 100 don't necessarily have easier lives. They've just found ways to face life with grace, resilience, and joy. And the most encouraging part? You don't need to wait until you feel ready to begin. You can start right where you are, one small choice at a time. Let's take a deep breath together. Feel your shoulders relax. You're doing great. And remember, this isn't about chasing perfection. It's about creating more moments that make you feel alive, present, and connected to the world around you. You deserve that kind of life at any age. There's something deeply comforting about knowing that small, everyday choices can lead to a longer, more fulfilling life. And now that we've explored the habits of mental flexibility, joyful movement, and the power of optimism, let's take a moment to focus on something else that centenarians almost always have in common: connection. The people who live the longest are rarely loners. Even if they've lost friends or partners over the years, they've found ways to stay socially engaged, whether it's through family, neighbors, faith communities, or volunteering. They remain a part of something bigger than themselves. I remember chatting with a woman named Elena who had just turned 102. She didn't have much family left nearby, but she still met once a week with her knitting group at the local library. "I don't even knit anymore," she laughed. "I just go to hear the gossip and eat cookies." That's what mattered most to her: being included, being seen, being in life with other people. It turns out this kind of connection doesn't just warm your heart. It literally strengthens it. Studies show that loneliness can be as damaging to your health as smoking or obesity. On the flip side, meaningful social connections can boost your immune system, lower stress, and even reduce your risk of memory loss. And the beautiful thing is, connection doesn't have to be grand or complicated. A daily phone call, a friendly wave to your neighbor, a quick chat with someone at the grocery store. These tiny interactions feed the soul and remind you that you still matter, that you're part of the fabric of your community, no matter your age. If you're someone who feels a bit isolated lately, don't be hard on yourself. Many people feel the same way. But maybe today, try reaching out to someone you haven't spoken to in a while. You don't need a reason. Just say, "I was thinking about you." That one gesture could brighten both your days. Now, as we wrap up this conversation, there's one final habit we need to talk about: purpose. This might just be the strongest thread tying all these longevity secrets together. People who live past 100 nearly always have a sense of why they get up in the morning. And that purpose can look different for everyone. For some, it's family, helping raise grandchildren, or just being there to offer wisdom and support. For others, it's creativity, painting, gardening, storytelling. And for some, it's faith or service, or the simple act of caring for a pet. It doesn't have to be big. It just has to be yours. One man I met, named George, told me that every morning he walks to the end of his driveway to raise the American flag. He's a veteran, and that daily ritual keeps him grounded. It's my way of saying, I'm still here. I still have something to give. He's 99 and sharp as ever. Having a purpose gives your days shape. It makes you feel useful, needed, alive. And when we feel that way, we take better care of ourselves. We eat better. We move more. We connect. It all becomes part of the same cycle, one that builds strength, not just in the body, but in the spirit. So maybe take a few quiet moments today to ask yourself, what gives my days meaning right now? Is it helping someone else? Creating something? Learning something new? Whatever your answer is, honor it. Lean into it. It's never too late to follow the things that make you feel more alive. As we've seen from these remarkable centenarians, longevity isn't just about genes or luck. It's about choices, tiny ones made every day. choosing to move your body, even just a little, choosing to stay curious, even when things are changing fast, choosing to connect, even when it feels easier to stay quiet, and choosing to believe that life still has more joy to offer you. You don't have to completely overhaul your life to live longer and better. You just have to start. Maybe it's drinking a glass of water when you wake up, calling a friend instead of turning on the TV, sitting in the sunshine for 5 minutes. Every small action you take adds up, and you are so worth the effort. Now, I want to leave you with this. No matter your age, you are not done growing. You're not done laughing or learning or loving. You still have so much to offer, and the world is better with you in it. If this video gave you something to think about, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What's your favorite daily habit that helps you feel strong, healthy, or joyful? Share in the comments below. You never know who you might inspire. And if you enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. We got so many more conversations to share, all focused on helping you live your best life, one beautiful day at a time. Here's to more laughter, more movement, more connection, and more purpose. Here's to waking up each morning and saying, let's see what today brings. Here's to you, living fully, boldly, and beautifully at any age. Until next time, take good care of yourself. You've earned it.